The Lion King is unquestionably a movie that portrays many different examples of leaders and teamwork. The movie stars when the future king of the African savannah is born, Simba, who idolizes his father, King Mufasa. Since he was a boy, since he was a baby cub, he looks forward to becoming the next king of the savannah, following his father's steps. But not everyone in the kingdom celebrates the new cub's destiny. Scar, Mufasa's brother and former heir to the throne, wants to take the throne, and he doesn't want the new baby cub Simba to be the new king. So the Battle of Pride Rock is soon ravaged with betrayal, drama, and tragedy, and ultimately resulting in Simba's exile. And during his exile, Simba he finds a new couple of friends, Timon and Pumbaa, who will help him grow up and be with him all the time, and they will help him take back the kingdom from Scar. This movie has many different examples of teamwork, like I mentioned earlier. Starting with Mufasa, like he was a great leader. He was the king, and while being the king, he was also a team player. He was always helping other people. He treated people with respect. He was fair and supportive, and he was not only a team player, but he was also a leader. Then moving on to Simba in his journey when he is on exile, he shows great teamwork quality. Like he meets Timon and Pumbaa, who help him grow up, teach him different lessons, different values. He plays along. He respects the rules of the community that they take him in. He is also respectful of other people's opinion. But not all the time Simba shows himself as a great or as a good team player. When Nala comes to ask him for help to say like we need you back, because we need you to take the throne from Scar, because it's you are the heir to the rightful heir through the throne, and he refuses to do so. He's not playing his part. He's being selfish right now. He's like, I don't care. I don't want to go back. So he's not being part of that team. Then also, like, I feel like every single person in this movie has, or every single animal, I should say, shows different qualities of team players. But these that I'm mentioning to you are like the main ones. Also, Timon and Pumbaa, this duo has always worked as a team since they were like babies. They do everything together. They hunt. They work together to take care of Simba. They make decisions based on each other's opinion. They also raise Simba and they show him the right way of doing things, or their way of doing things. They are self-directed and always maintaining a positive attitude. When the time comes, they also help Simba to take back his throne.
Mufasa is a benevolent ruler who ensures the satisfaction of all the members of the Pride Lands. He is modest and provides Simba with life lessons that will help Simba become a successful leader in the future. As a cub, Simba was reckless and believed he could have anything he wanted when he was king. After his father's death, Simba becomes a humbled lion and he wishes to live the rest of his life without any worries. However, this becomes challenging when he has to face his uncle Scar to win back the Pride Lands and assume his position as king. Scar is the epitome of a horrible leader. He forces others to do his dirty work for him, except for the murder of his brother, in which he finds great satisfaction. When he takes over the Pride Lands, he abuses the subjects and makes them starve at the expense of his lavish lifestyle. He is selfish and he harms others to get whatever he wants.
We will examine integrity, partnership, and affirmation in The Lion King as it plays its part in leadership. The Lion King has integrity. Integrity is maintained through the shared system of the circle of life. The animals find themselves in a world that enforces the circle of life. The circle of life works as a shared hierarchical value system in which every animal depends on every other animal. If an animal does not play their part, then the system of life does not sustain itself at Pride Rock territory. In The Lion King, integrity is passed on from father to son. In this picture, you can see Mufasa keeping a promise to watch the sunrise with Simba. By keeping promises, Mufasa builds trust and respect. Mufasa describes it There is more to being a king than getting your way all the time. To elaborate, being an animal means that you're responsible for your part in the circle of life. Later in the movie, Simba says, "This is my kingdom. If I don't fight for it, who will?" At this point, Simba realizes the part of the circle of life he is responsible for, which is the king. Mufasa says everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. As king, you need to understand that balance and respect all the creatures. Here, Mufasa describes the circle of life and the roles animal must play to keep life going. Mufasa says you shouldn't look for trouble, you have to be responsible. From these anecdotes, Mufasa seems to describe that you need to let the circle of life unfold naturally on its own, without interference, but that you must play your role in sustaining the circle of life. Balance is a continuing component of integrity in The Lion King. Here the spirit of Mufasa tells Simba that he must take his place in the circle of life. Without Simba taking his place in the circle of life cannot be maintained and life cannot go on in Pride Rock territory. Partnership is another important component of leadership. Mufasa shares his fears with Simba, and in doing so openly shares his personal struggles. Mufasa tells Simba that it's okay to openly share your struggles. When Simba misbehaves, Mufasa individually addresses the problem with Simba, and by doing so forms a partnership. Affirmation is another important aspect of leadership. Here you can see Mufasa tell Simba how the kings of the past are always there to guide him if he gets lonely. Looking to the stars, thinking about past kings can be seen as a stepping stone to self-affirmation. Simba learns self-affirmation from Timon and Pumbaa, with reassurance and quotes to follow. One of these quotes is when Timon says, "When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world." Timon's overall message is that you have to keep moving forward. I think the most important phrase in the movie is Hakuna Matata, which means no worries for the rest of your days. Hakuna Matata in some ways seems to mean let things happen naturally and don't force them. Find your balance and harmony in nature. Once you find your balance and harmony, you will find your role in the circle of life.
People will think for themselves when you quit doing it for them. In this movie, after Mufasa's death, Simba had to learn how to lead on his own after learning from his father as a cub. Get to the goal however you see fit, using your best judgment. In this movie, although this is a bad example, Scar did what he believed what was necessary to achieve his goal of getting rid of Mufasa and Simba. He went to the extreme with the stampede, but it was enough to give him what he wanted. Leaders are there to back you up and help you reach your goals. In this movie, Nala chases after Simba to help him become the king of Pride Rock. She was there to motivate Simba when he didn't believe in himself. With her help, Simba was able to become a supportive leader who wanted the best for the rest of the animals in the Pride Lands. Leaders get everyone to the place they are supposed to go. At the end of the movie, it is evident that many of the animals are living the life they deserve. Simba and Nala's cub will grow up in a safe environment because of the leadership that Simba has.
Here you can see Scar, he's the villain in the movie. And here I contrast good leadership with bad leadership. Scar is a classical leader as he is controlling, manipulative, secretive, and demanding. Instead of working to maintain the delicate balance of roles at Pride Rock, Scar focuses on using power and keeping power. Scar keeps secrets and does not share the big plans with his team of hyenas, which causes distrust among the hyenas. Scar puts his team of hyenas down and controls them, but Scar should use affirmation and supportive leadership, focusing on backing up on hyenas instead, so the hyenas can find their place in the circle of life on their own. Under Scar's leadership, no one can find where they belong and what they're best at.
The unique thing about The Lion King is that throughout the movie we see 2 changes in leadership, and we see the results of decisions made by 3 different leaders of Pride Rock. During the movie, we as the viewers are able to see the ethical dilemmas between not only brothers, but also father to son, uncle to nephew, and king to kingdom. In the beginning, we see Mufasa as king. after inheriting a well-established monarchy system. Throughout his reign, Mufasa had the chance to change things about the Pride Lands. This inherited system allowed for hyenas to live in poverty while in banishment. The hyenas and lions have been at war over sharing land for years prior to the start of the movie, which could have potentially been solved by Mufasa. This is where Scar differed the most from Mufasa. Scar wasn't afraid to include the hyenas in the kingdom. All of Scar's ethical dilemmas revolve around his decision not to support his brother Mufasa as a leader. This decision led Scar to manipulate Simba into his death, not just once, but twice. He eventually ends up killing Mufasa to gain his power and his leadership. He lies to the tribe and the lionesses about how Mufasa and Simba died, and the fact that Simba died. Scar made empty promises to the hyenas of prosperity that he couldn't keep. He ended up being a gluttonous leader. And forced the lionesses to overhunt, eventually running out of resources. This decision was... Just cut that. Another dilemma that Scar came to was when he was backed against the edge of Pride Rock. He had the choice to blame somebody else or just take the fall, and he just chose to blame the hyenas, ending up... Cut that part. When Scar was backed against the edge of Pride Rock, he made the decision... Just cut that. When Scar was backed to the edge of Pride Rock by Simba at the end of the movie, he had the choice to surrender or to blame somebody else. He chose to blame the hyenas, which in turn turned the hyenas against him and ran him out of Pride Rock. When faced with the choice to either go back to Pride Rock with Nala to face his family and his tribe, or to stay comfortable... I'm going to restart. When faced with the choice to either go back with Nala to Pride Rock and face his family, or to stay comfortable and well-fed with Timon and Pumbaa, he really struggles to make his choice. Eventually, he decides to go back and challenge Scar. In turn, facing him with the choice to kill Scar or show him mercy. This choice allows Simba to show his character at the Pride Land. Oh my gosh. This choice allows Simba to show his character as the Pride Land's new leader.